Stations. We love stations. If you're a kindergarten or first grade teacher, you probably do stations once a day, maybe even twice a day. But there is something wrong with doing stations, and that is you have to find the stuff to put into the stations, right? It can be a challenge, and the stuff has to be engaging. They have to want to do it. It has to be independent. People forget that kindergarten and first grade students, they don't know how to read. And so that independent thing is really important. They just can't read the directions and do it, right? It also has to be educational because they're in school. You're their teacher. They need educational things. Also, it should be easy prep for you, the teacher. You don't need more little things to cut out and laminate and find a place to put and store. And then after the first rotation of the stations, half of it is lost anyway. If you know what I'm talking about, can I get a thumbs up? That's why I am going to start doing live streams, usually on Wednesdays, to help you with your stations. So if you have any ideas on or questions about stations, go ahead and put them into the live chat, or if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put them down in the comments below. And let's go ahead and get started. If you are ready to get started, can you please hit that like button, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, the first activity I want to share with you today is this one right here. When you're doing stations, a really great thing for you to do with the stations is to tie in what's going on in the students' world. That means holidays. That means special events that are happening. And what's happening tomorrow? It's February 29th. And that is a big thing because that only happens every 4 years. If you're not sure why it's called leap year, I just learned this myself. If your birthday is on a Monday in 2023, and then in a regular year, it's going to bounce to Tuesday, but in a leap year, it's going to leap over Tuesday and hit on a Wednesday, okay? So that's why it's called a leap year. So if you're getting this late, what I would do is I would go ahead and download this. This resource is free for you. It's in the description, and you just look under the resource tab underneath there, heading, and I would just cut that off. But for those of you who are here today and are going to download this, here you go. Just copy it and put it in your stations for tomorrow. It's independent. Explain it at morning message time. All right, this is this worksheet, and this is Froggy, and he needs to have 29 objects in his environment. What could we put in Froggy's environment? And they put them in. So they're counting, they're being creative, they're problem solving, and there's two parts to this. There's this one that I drew a little pond for him, okay? Or just keep it simple, okay? So again, if you want, just cut that off and you can throw it in next week, all right? Or in March or in April. Just something to keep them busy learning, right? It's engaging and all that, all right? Hope you are liking that. If you are liking it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And I want to show you what else is in my stations, right? So, stations. The biggest question I get from people is this: what do the kids do when they're done at their little station time, right? They've done the Froggy activity and they're done and they're yelling across the room, "Teacher, I'm done. Now what do I do?" And you're like, I'm with a small group right now. I'm not talking to you. And so that is a very big problem. And so I want to show you one of my favorite activities to do with kids who are done early. It's an activity that I have shared before. And so if you have seen this, you can probably tell me how much you do this in your classroom and how much your students like it. This can be housed in the early finisher binder that your students can have. And if you want to know more about the early finisher games, there's a description down below. And basically what this is, it's a binder. Let me flip this over. And the part that we're going to be talking about today is just a simple blue piece of paper. I color it. And so what I do is I take a blue piece of paper, one for each student, because it goes in their binder, and I cut it down just a little bit because then I'm going to laminate it. The lamination part is essential. Why? Because they are going to be drawing on it. Let's go back over and let me I'm going to grab two different colors. One color, they're just going to make a little design, and this is called a transformation, all right? They make their own design. Then it goes back into a page protector. Okay, so they put it back in their page protector, and they can do this activity again and again and again and again. And it's perfect for problem solving and all sorts of things. Okay, so they have their paper, and now they need to transform it into something, all right? And I try to make them think of things that are unusual. And when I look at this, I'm going to take it, and I think we'll go ahead and do, to me, that looks like a bone. So I would go ahead and put a little, maybe a bone right there, maybe, or they could make it into anything they want. Then I would elaborate on it, and I'm just trying to think of how I might elaborate on it. There's a dog, and he has his mouth on the bone, right, and his little teethies. Oh my word. I am not a very good drawer, especially under pressure, right? You get the idea. But they don't need to be good drawers either. Then, if they still have time, they can draw or write a little story. Now, here's where it gets really great. They can take this paper now, and they're going to slip it out, and they are going to do this activity again. But this time, they are going to think of something totally different. So I'm looking at this, and oh, I don't know. Maybe it is a turtle head, and he is eating a big old cabbage there. Okay, and so they could write about their turtle, my turtle, and they can use their inventive spelling is Henry. He is a nice turtle. He lives in the swamps of Michigan. He has a friend, Marvin, and they get into Farmer Joe's garden all the time. So they can do that. And then if there's time at the end, they can go ahead and share it with the class. What's really fun is they do one side, they flip it over with theirs, and they give it to a friend, and their friend has to think of something else. All right? If you are liking this, please make sure that you subscribe so that you get more ideas about stations, what to do. So that is an activity that they can just have with them. And when they're done with their station and they're waiting for the rotation, instead of screaming across the room, "Teacher, I'm done, now what?" Or having a wrestling match or using the restroom for 16 minutes, you know what I'm talking about. They have something to do, and it's something they can do again and again and again and again and again. And actually, it is so good. Kids do transformations way better than adults. They are amazing. And if they love this and they want to share it and save it, if you have like the Remind app and they want to share this with their parents, they can just go ahead and keep this, take a picture, send it home with the Remind app. All right. If you're liking this, let me know in the comments. And if you want more stuff about stations. Okay. All right. Are there any questions? I'm not even sure if I have my comments are up and going. Who knows? I have no idea. I don't see any, so I guess that's a good thing. Hopefully everyone is getting some good ideas. I want you to remember that on Wednesdays we're going to do this, and I guess that's it. I hope you have fun building your stations. Stations can be so amazing and so productive for your students to be independent, as well as you having time with your students, a small group, keep them busy doing stations and other things like this. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't know me, my name is Angie. I was a teacher for 25 years, and I always end my videos like this. Remember, the creator of the universe loves you. He really does. And I think you're pretty amazing too. I will see you soon. If you have any questions, drop them below. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.